Breaking news today, Tom. I must have confessed I was so impressed. You got Constantine Karayannopoulos to join your advisory board. That has to be sending out extraordinary messages to the market. How did you make this happen?
Hi, Tracy. Good to be back with you here. We're very excited to have Constantine on our advisory board. The It wasn't easy because, as you know, Constantine is one of the top experts when it comes to rare earths worldwide, and he is very selective in what he does. So I'm sure he likes Appia's projects, and Constantine decided to give us a hand.
Well, I mean, and not only has Constantine Karayannopoulos, of course, led the leading rare earth and, in fact, put together other critical mineral deals like Lithium. I know he had a big part in that particular deal. Can you tell me a little bit more about what may have enticed him to join your advisory board? Was it your Brazil project, your rare earth project, or your exciting uranium project?
I would say it's all of the above, but the Brazilian project, the PCH project, will be, I think, one of the uh, more interesting projects for Constantine because it's rare earths in ionic clays, and it's heavy rare earths and magnet rare earths. Uh, so Constantine had an opportunity to visit the project and looked at it, and I think he liked the project, and he decided to join us.
Well, for those of you out there that may just be going, okay, ionic clays, we're seeing all kinds of headlines out there with regards to rare earths. You also convinced Don Hains to join your advisory board, and he is deemed one of the absolute best geologists in the world. Can you tell us a little bit more about Don's role and involvement in your projects?
Don is it's what we call a very well-known expert for this type of projects, lithium, rare earths, industrial minerals. And I know Don for the last 20, 25 years. I've been showing him projects, and the first project that I showed him that he got excited about was the PCH project. So Don has been our consultant from day one. He actually, when we did the due diligence, Don visited the project and the property, and he came back and he says, "Yeah, it's very exciting, very interesting. You could have something here." And since then, basically, Don is our consultant. So Don is being a consultant and an advisor from day one on the PCH project.
Well, speaking of other consultants that I know have been involved with Appia over the years that were announced in this pileup of mega talent joining the Appia rare earths and uranium team in this morning's news release was, of course, Jack Lifton. Tell us a little bit more about Jack Lifton's role with Appia, please.
Jack, again, is an advisor of Appia. He's sitting on the advisory board with Constantine and Don Hains. And as you know, Jack is a very well respected, very well known rare earth expert, and he has been for many years. He knows the industry, he knows the market, and so we think Appia, with the having three top well-known experts, rare earth experts on our advisory board, it's very exciting, and I think it speaks for itself.
Well, what I personally like, and those of you out there, who are in the markets will appreciate this, is this came right on the heels of some extraordinary drilling results. You had some outstanding diamond drill results that you just put out, some very high grade zones identified. Can you share a little bit more about these results with our audience who may be new to Appia?
We we acquired this PCH project, an option to earn 70% on this project back in June, July last year, and since then we've drilled about 300 drill holes. So we have been getting a very exciting project results on this drilling constantly. I mean, we had in terms of rare earths, we had up to 93,000 parts per million, which is 9.3% total rare earth oxide. And this is basically in sort of all the rare earths we're talking about here are within the top, let's say, 20 meters from surface. It's mainly in clay or saprolite. But the previous the seller, you know, the previous owners had drilled 3 or 4 diamond drill holes, and the first diamond drill hole that they drilled went down to 100 meters. They stopped at 100 meters, and they had some really good results. But we had to Appia decided to reassay that core, and just to make sure that, you know, we get the right numbers. So what we announced a couple of days ago is the reassaying of the first diamond drill hole that the sellers did. So we had from 0 to 100 meters at the end of the hole, 3,577 parts per million. Within that, we had from surface to 18 meters, 9,445 parts per million total rare earth oxide. 7 meters within that was 18,275 parts per million, and 1.5 meter was over 30,000 parts per million. And just for comparison, there's a deposit that went into production in the same area, same general area that we are at the Sierra Verde, and their average grade is 1,200 parts per million in terms of the deposit is the overall average. So we're getting up to 93,000. It's very, very exciting, and we're actually working on a 43-101 resource, the first resource calculation that we hope to have it out in the next few weeks or a month or 1 or 2 months. So I think that would give the industry some good idea of what the initial results and numbers are for this PCH project.
And of course, I love the artwork behind you. I have to draw some parallels here to David versus Goliath. How the heck did Appia secure such an extraordinary project in Brazil? Can you comment on that?
We have been looking for rare earth projects for a while, and I've been looking down in Brazil. We looked at some projects in the last few years, and we just happened to get a call. We're one of the rare earth companies that I guess were approached for this project, and because I was looking for this type of project, I was ready, and I jumped on it. You know, I think there were some other companies that were interested, but you know, we bit them to it, and we're quite excited.
Well, speaking of being exciting, it seems like your formula at Appia is a win-win. You've got 2 of the most significant critical minerals that people are talking about right now, and nothing's hotter than the uranium market. And for those of you that are out there, it's Appia Rare Earths and uranium. So you recently put out some plans for drilling over at your uranium-bearing project in Saskatchewan. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing with that? Because you have held positions in several uranium projects over the years.
Yes, Tracy, Appia started as a uranium company. So we do have 4 uranium projects in around the Athabasca Basin in North Saskatchewan. And obviously we also have the Alces Lake, which is the high-grade monazite rare earth project in the same area. And in addition to that, we have a large deposit in Elliot Lake, Ontario, where we have in both inferred and indicated categories of about 55 million pounds of uranium and about 180 million pounds of rare earths. And now with the uranium prices going higher, and they're up over $100, that project looks very exciting. So in terms of what we're doing, we have one of those projects is the Loringer. It's close to the infrastructure mining. There's across from the producing mines. There's power and we had a couple of drilling campaigns in the last few years there, and now we did a deal with the First Nations over there. So, and we're looking to drill this project, weather permitting, in the next month or two, because it's a project that we like to drill in the winter months. So we're still waiting for a drilling permit, and if we get this drilling permit, we're hoping to for a few holes in this very exciting uranium project in the next few weeks.
So I'm certain many people out there are going, Appia, we have to talk to Tom or Stephen Barrega, or Constantine, Jack, or Don. Will you all be at PDAC, and how can we find you?
We have a booth there, and I'm sorry I forgot the number on it, but we do have a booth, and we've been on the PDAC for the last 15, 20 years anyway. And so people should look for the Appia booth, and we'll be there to meet and talk to everybody who's interested.
Well, thank you so much for the update, Tom. We look forward to seeing you both at PDAC, and I'm also looking forward to having a chat with Constantine and Jack Lifton about how amazing these projects are for Appia, rare earths, and uranium. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy.